All right, guys. All right, guys. Welcome to my channel. My name is Anthony James. I am from Nigeria, Delta State, precisely. So today I am going to go over USDCHF. Okay, it's one pair that I really like to trade. So I usually swing an intraday. So I am looking for a swing trade on USDCHF. So I'm just going to go over the trade that I analyzed and how I got my entry and all. So just watch and enjoy. If you have any questions or have any suggestions, you can put it in the chat box. Okay. So stay calm, guys, and enjoy the analysis. All right. So I started from the monthly. Okay. Looking at this market, it is actually a ranging market. Okay. So it's not the best to trade, but if you know how to trade it, you can definitely trade it if you want. After all, the best you have to do is use proper risk management. All right, so we can see that the market has been ranging from this point up to this point. Okay, this was 2011, got to this low, created this high, and in 2021, which was last year, it created a low, a higher low here, and then it is now at this point. So this is the monthly, guys. As you can see, the market has created a resistance and also a support. Okay, so why I consider this top one as a resistance is because if you look back at the price has actually responded it twice, one, two, and if I think if we go back, we might see more reaction to that zone. So okay, I don't think so. Just one, two, three, four, like multiple touches to this zone. So that is why I classify it as a resistance. And then below is the support of the range. Okay, the lower point of the range. So now market is at the resistance, meaning I will be looking for sales. So now this is the monthly time frame. This is not where I get my trades out from. Okay, I just like to see the overview of what is happening in the market on a higher time frame before I go down. So the next thing I did was go to the weekly. Okay, and then on the weekly, because we are at the resistance and I should be looking for sales, I just have to like I just had to like analyze and see and look for selling opportunities because market is actually at the sell zone of a higher time frame. So I basically just need to look for sell opportunities to go into the market. I usually like to swing. So what I did was look for a swing trade. So looking at this market at the resistance, which is over here, price currently created a double top. Okay, so price created a double top. All right, and I'm looking for price to retest this other block and then ride it down to this low. Okay, because I believe or I think that this is going to form an M. Okay, and the right side of an M is usually the strongest to pull down. And when I drop down to the time frame, I actually saw some areas of liquidity that market could sweep to actually drop back down. Okay, And if you see that at this point, market actually like respected this area. This area is a very significant area to sell from. Okay, I know there are higher zones here, but if you look at it, the market has actually mitigated all these other blocks. So I get my entries from other blocks. So I look for the most recent other block for the impulse. Okay, so looking at this, price has mitigated this one. So this other block, I have to go back to the monthly so that I can see it probably. All right, so there is actually an other block here before the impulse to the downside. Okay, so that is the other block that the market is currently responding to. So if I drop back to the weekly, you're going to see clearly. All right, so this is it. Okay, so now price came to another block and created a double top, which is indicating a a bearish double top, which is indicating sell. Okay, so now price has changed character. Okay, at this point, there's a break of structure here on the lower time frame. So I'm looking for the market to like retest this other block, which created the impulse that broke this structure to then drop back down to this demand zone. Okay, so then I drop to the daily time frame to then get an order block from the double top. So if you look clearly, you are going to see the first peak and the second peak. Okay, so now the second peak was what broke structure. Okay, was what broke this support. And if you look at it very well, you're going to see this is a high. Okay, sorry guys. I'm still like trying to master this too. I think I'm just gonna get another one. So yeah, this is another high. Okay, and then the market started creating what lower lows. So yeah, here is a low. Okay, and this is a lower low. Okay, and this is a what a lower high. Okay, so market then broke, created this lower high, and then broke structure. But this was actually the impulse that brought it down. Okay, so I drew my fib from this high down to this low that started the retracement, which is the 100% um retracement zone. So I mean the 1% retracement zone, because that is where the retracement started from. So yeah, so now the market created liquidity before it dropped down. Okay, this is also called inducement, right? So then when market got to this low, it started retracing back up, and then it also created liquidity. So these liquidities are orders in the market that because before for the market to make this big move back to this order block, which is the last point of trading, like for selling, it's going to be the last point that sellers could get in the market. That is the way I can like understand it or explain it. So market swept all these highs, meaning it had to like take the people's money here. That is how they describe it, like stop losses at this high, because people that take trade that took trades at this high for a sell, they will have their stop losses here. Okay, so now for the market to be able to like come and fill this other block, it needs equity, it needs liquidity. Sorry. So now market created this liquidity, which is this highs. Okay, and then it dropped. So now people that would take their trade at this point and put their stop losses here, market swept all this liquidity, and then it is now going to drop because it is now at the other block. Okay, the 50% of the other block, and also inside of the imbalance. There is an imbalance in this area. So Now, after it has swept this liquidity and like taking all these orders, it is now going to like drop. That is what it is predicted, because why? The market broke structure, okay, to the downside. Okay, and you know that when the market break its structure to the downside, you should be looking for sell. That is called a downtrend. So this is what I'm talking about. So usually when you see this, okay, market breaks to the downside, usually retest this floor, okay, and continue going back down. And if it breaks again, retest the low and then continue going back down. So that is the formation of a downtrend, and that is what happened here, okay, at this monthly sell zone. So market created this low, okay, created liquidity, which is inducement, and then it broke the low. So now when market broke the low, it usually comes to this seller zone and then continue going back to the direction that it broke, which is the downside. But now the market created more liquidity, because for it to be able to make this big move, it needs equity, it needs liquidity. So now market created this liquidity and then it swept it. So now it has swept it, and then we are expecting, or I am expecting, this market to drop back down to this floor or even lower. Why? Because on the higher time frame, which is on the weekly, okay, on the weekly, the market is retesting. The same thing that is happening on the daily is also happening on the weekly. You can see that market broke this low, market broke this support, and then if I draw my Fibonacci from this high down to this low, you're going to see it properly. Okay, and you can see that market is inside of the 78% zone. Okay, 78% zone, almost to the 100% zone. So market is actually retesting. The same thing that is happening on the daily is happening on the weekly. So that is even more confluence, even more confirmation, because market is currently at this weekly order block. Okay, and if I go back to the monthly, I believe it's inside of a monthly order block. As you can see, it is. So now I'm going to go back to the daily so that I can see I actually have the trade on right now. So what I did next was I refined the daily order block down to the 4 hour to get my entry. Okay, so now let me take off some of these drawings so you don't get confused. All right, so this was an explanation, so I'm gonna take it off. So yeah, so this was how I got my entry after analyzing that the market is going down and got in my area of supply. Because when it's at above, it's called a supply, and when it's below, it's called a demand zone. So now the market is in my supply zone, I had to get my entry. So this was how I got my entry. So the daily order block that created the impulse that broke structure on the daily time frame, I had to refine it to get my entry. So after marking it out like this, maybe I don't need to put this rectangle because it's already marked. So yeah. So after marking my order block like this, what I did was go down to the 4 hour time frame. Before I did, I actually took my gun box to get the middle of it. The middle of it was my entry, but I wanted to see if there was something that would give me more confidence on the 4 hour. So I had to like drop back down. Okay, so I drop back down to the 4 hour, and then in that area of supply on the 4 hour, there's actually a huge imbalance. Okay, there's actually a huge imbalance that gave me more confidence that I knew that market has to come and fill this imbalance. And at the back of the imbalance, or let's say the front, is this the front? Okay, no, this is going to be the front. So at the back of the imbalance, we have two oddball candles, or I could say other blocks, because they actually medicated this initial order block, the first one that created the first engulfing candle, which started the impulse down to the downside. So these oddball candles, they actually medicated this one, so I can actually start from here to get my. So I actually just marked these two oddball candles, okay, and then I also took my gun box again, and then so I could get the middle of it, and then luckily or fortunately the middle of it aligns with the line on my daily that I got from my daily. So both the middle of the daily order block is the middle of this oddball order block. So everything is aligning to me, and I'm confident that this is going to be a good trade. So where am I taking it to? I am taking it back down to the low that the retracement started from. So this is going to be a swing trade. Okay, so after getting the entry, I did not just go in the trade. Okay, so when market got to the zone, I waited for market to react first. So when market got to the entry, I waited for a confirmation, because this is a higher time frame trade. It's good to wait for confirmations, so you don't just dive in. So your stop loss might be big. You have to wait for confirmation to get a smaller stop loss. So when market got to my entry, okay, it created a harami patterns. I mean a bearish harami pattern, which is indicating bearish momentum to the downside. So whenever you get these candle patterns at an area of resistance, area of support, most are valid for entries. So I got a bearish harami pattern. So after the baby candle closed, I switched down to the 5 minutes. Okay, so when I switch down to the 5 minutes, I then wait for a change of character. Okay, so after the while the Arami baby the baby of the Arami candle pattern was closing, I went down to the 5 minutes to look for a change of character. So this was when market got to the area. Okay, this was when market got to the entry, and then no, I think I need to use the part two. So this was when market got to the area, the zone. Okay, and then what's going on? So market got to the area like this, and then it created a little low here, then shot back up. This is also a double top. So this is called price action. Market just keep repeating itself. Okay, so it created a double top here, and also on the daily time frame, and also on the weekly time frame. So then market broke this low that it created. Okay, and then not just this low, it also broke this one. And then so what I did was I waited for a retracement, okay, back to the other block that started the impulse down to the downside. Okay, so I use this other block because it is in an area, it is in an area of support. Okay, so this was a support area that price broke, and then there is an other block there with an impulse move. So that was why I used it. Okay, so when market came back to the area, when market retraced back to the area, so this is the support. Okay, market shot up, and then it broke down. So I waited for a retracement back to this other block. Okay, and then when market got to this other block, I took an entry here. All right, so the reason I have my entry here for my short two was because when market got to this point, before it started retracing, I actually dived in because I thought I FOMO'd in, because I'm just being transparent. I FOMO'd in because on the higher time frame, the baby candle closed. This was when the baby candle closed on the Harami pattern on the 4 hour. So this was when the baby candle closed. So I actually just dived in because that's actually a confirmation candle. I wanted to like hold the drawdown, so in case it doesn't like retrace back, because sometimes with the impulse move, the market usually don't retrace back. So I just like FOMO'd in, and then I I took another entry when it retraced back to this other block. So I actually have two entries that are running in profit right now. So as you can see, this is where the market is at. So this is my entry that I FOMO'd in, is in profit. And then this entry that I took after like I went in on this one. So this was actually like a good entry for me. So when I took this entry now, you can see that I'm also in profit on let me see how many pips profit I'm in at. So I think I'm in look, let me use I'm gonna use this tool instead. So I'm 24, no, I'm 34 pips in profit. All right, so that's good. I hope what I predict is gonna happen to this market, because what I'm seeing this market to do is actually drop back down to this zone. Okay, because on this higher time frame, on the weekly time frame, this is actually going to form an M. Okay, and if you're training for long, you should know that the right side of an M is usually the strongest. Okay, so it could actually, it has the potential to drop back to this initial low. All right, so if the USD starts losing strength, we might see this happen. But the way the USD is strong, I'm just predicting it to like come back to this low. Okay, so guys, that was basically how I got this trade. Okay, how I got my zone, how I got my entry, and then my confirmation, and how I got in profit. So while I'm in profit now, if market keep, as long as market keeps breaking structure, I'm going to start trailing my stop loss. So when market gets to this zone, I'm going to take some partials and then move my stop loss into profit. So this one is in 34 pips profit. So what I'm going to do now is just move profit to break even, because price actually just broke this support zone, this support zone on the 5 minutes, this area of support. So market just broke this area of support. So I'm going to move my stop loss to break even. Okay. So this is going to be a risk-free trade. All right. But this my trade that I have here. I'm going to wait for market to get to this TP, and I take partial, then I move my stop loss into profit. Before market even gets to this TP, I'm going to move my stop loss into profit. But for now, I'm not going to move it yet, because market could likely just click me out, because it is very, very close. It is very, very close to the entry. Actually, a very poor entry, guys. Very, very poor entry. I dived in. Please don't FOMO, because market will sometimes give you a drawdown before it gives you profit. So and the drawdown is going back to the entry that you actually wanted to go, in at. So that is how I got everything, guys. I hope you learned and enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it, not just enjoy it. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Thank you guys for watching this video. Peace. My name is Anthony James. My name is Anthony James. See you guys on the next video. Peace.